Hello and welcome again. Just picking up on a topic I heard on the radio this morning, which involved our good friend Wayne Rooney, banned after admitting drink driving. There's lots to consider with this one. It's a very simple case, which is fantastic. He's gone in and admitted and pleaded guilty to it, and he's obviously more than happy to accept the fixed penalty as prescribed by the judge. But I just want to go through this. I've had a few different reports about whether he was actually driving or just sitting in a car with the keys in the ignition. But I mean that's by the by. We're going to go through it and just have a little look. This is Wayne Rooney arriving at court today. Hello, Wayne. There he is. A lot of police. That's costing the taxpayers a fair amount of money. He's actually been done with like a £180 court fine. I think that's the only fine he's had to pay. Because obviously he's being charged as a pleb, you know, as a normal person of society. So regardless of his status, this is always a good thing to examine statuses. Whether he's a millionaire or whatever, you know, the fixed fine is a fixed fine. It's an amerce. I think the term is called an amerce for a society. You have a penalty is just basically a fine. Yeah, so there we are. So regardless of his people are obviously saying, well, it's not enough. But apparently Everton Football Club have deducted something like 300 grand's worth of wages from him for this conduct, which is probably contracted into him, which is fine. Anyway, let's look at the actual news article from the lovely BBC. Don't normally go to this website, but hey, why not in this case? So former England captain Wayne Rooney has appeared in court and admitted drink driving. Boom. So he's appeared in court. He made an appearance, whether special or otherwise, in court, not at court, and admitted drink driving. So when you admit something, it's quite often that, you know, you don't need any trial, you don't need any jury, you don't need any waste of resources. You basically say, look, fair cop, I did it. I'm a numpty. Just hit me with what you got, and I'll go about my day. Now, in this case, it's a trivial matter, but it's obviously a trivial matter that has serious consequences when people are obviously not in complete control of their faculties, I think is how you might describe it, and then they might veer off the road and crash into people and obviously kill people. Funnily enough, on this same day, the newspaper report, I'm going to do another article, another video on the cyclist who went through London town with no brakes. It was an Olympic cycle bike, and he ran into a woman and killed her. And then apparently after he ran into her, she started shouting at her in the street, like, oh, probably like, you stupid woman, what are you doing? Why can't you look left and right, or something like that. So I'm going to do another video on that in just a minute. But this is good because it's Wayne Rooney, and they're kind of similar, you know. You got the driving element of all of this, you know, because there's a very interesting charge that they did. They had to find an interesting charge to do the cyclist under, which I'll cover on in that video. But this is just a bog standard. Everyone gets these like little tickets, speeding tickets. He's already got 3 points on his license, as we'll find out in a minute. But anyway, so he's admitted two things: drink and driving. Okay, driving. Remember, ing is a future tense. Where are you going on holiday this year? What are you doing later? Have you? I think even the police officer will come to that as well. Was asking him, have you been drinking? Which is have past tense. You been drinking future tense. So in that one sentence, there's all kinds of nonsense going on when you look at the words that are being thrown at you. So anyway, he's admitted it. So hey, it doesn't matter. There is no defence once you've admitted it. Apart from the judiciary. Now there is a case. I think it's called corpus delicti, is where the judge, even though, let's say, someone comes forward and says, let's say I murdered JFK, let's say that I murdered JFK, it was me, I did it, it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, even though I wasn't even born at the time of JFK, I did it, you know. And the judge normally, you know, in this case, you know, he would say, oh, okay, you come in, you've done it, here's your fine, drink driving, great. But what happens if she was actually in the driver's seat and they switched over? Or there could have been something like, I've been paid by the Russian government to take the fall for their real agent, was it Oswald, yeah? So there's these kind of things that the judge has to say, okay, on face value, we're going to accept your plea of admitting to the charges. but maybe I can press a few buttons, tickle a few things, and just see if there's actually more to this than meets the eye. And this apparently used to happen when in marriages and stuff like that, forced marriages. The priest would sometimes ensure that people, are you being forced to marry? Is this some sort of debt obligation? Are you just doing this because someone's been held ransom? Is this have they got undue influence over you? Are they, what do they call it, duress? Is there duress to get married? There's all kinds of instances where it's just nice to do, or duty of care, you could say, just to make sure that things are all kosher, to use the Jewish term. Right. So anyway, he was arrested by police. When police stopped a car in Wilmstone, Cheshire, in the early hours of 1st of September. The 31-year-old, getting on a bit, was banned from driving for 2 years in order to perform 100 hours unpaid work. Now I can't get my head around this. Now I understand doing community service, but the concept of servitude, penal servitude, unpaid work, I'm not sure that's technically allowed, is it? I mean, I can understand you're going to do community service at base rate of pay, like minimum wage. I can understand that. But to say to somebody you could do 100 hours of no pay work, we got rid of slavery. So if you're doing 100 hours of unpaid work, I don't know what the exact minutiae details are there, but that just doesn't sit well in my stomach. I mean, you can get someone to do community service, but for God's sake, how are they going to feed? How are they going to get lunch that day? They're going to work and cover their own costs. Not sure about that. Rooney was also ordered to pay £170. This is the Mickey Mouse fine, which would be a lot of money to you and I, but to someone who's earning 300 grand every 2 weeks, it appears, or 2 months. I don't know. I don't even know what it is. That's obviously a frivolous amount of money. And he did end up in Stockport Magistrates Court. Now, obviously, the Magistrates Court, you have the criminal element of certain criminal matters below a certain amount, £5,000, I think it is. You have traffic court, which he's gone to Magistrates Court, but he's obviously been brought into a traffic court within the magistrates building. Okay, so he's gone to a very specific court in that respect. And the other thing they do, and there's family matters, which God help you if you find yourself in family court. People should really scrutinise the kind of court. I don't know why it doesn't really click in people's heads. They should really know, what court am I in? What court do you believe I'm going to? Why am I in this court? Because all these people that like constitutional rights and all this kind of nonsense, all that goes out the window if they drag you into a family court or a traffic court. I mean, where in any constitution does it say that you have the right to appear in traffic court and receive a fair trial? It's a court set up for a specific purpose. Like if I made a new game and we designated the rules of court, and you end up standing in my court holding a stick, and I'm throwing things at you saying, "Oh, you're losing," then of course you're going to lose, aren't you? So, I mean, again, he's admitted to it here. So he's literally there saying, "Look, we played the. Let's just pretend we played the game. I'm the loser. You win. You get the trophy." That's basically, he's not even putting up a fight or a struggle or defending himself, and that's in a way that's the right thing to do, because how are you going to win anyway when you don't know the rules of the court and someone's throwing things at you and you're holding a stick that you don't know how you're supposed to use it, or the lines on the pitch, all that kind of stuff. You just don't know the rules. It's like chucking Wayne Rooney, sticking him in a kabaddi pitch and say, "Right, you're going to play kabaddi now, Wayne." It's like, what the hell? It's no different picking up this football and sticking him in a traffic court. Right, there you go. Obviously, he's had legal advice. Unforgivable. There's a lovely word. Nothing is unforgivable. No, pretty much. I can't. I mean, murder is. I mean, if we talk about trespasses and forgiveness of sins. I mean, that's forgivable is a biblical word. It's especially in the Christian faith. Unforgivable. Now, they might forgive you. They might not forgive you. But to say that it's unforgivable, especially for something as like £170 fine, I'd forgive you. You didn't kill anyone this time, Rooney, thankfully. That's the nature of the law. This time, did you kill anyone? No. Okay, so it is definitely forgivable, in my opinion. If you killed someone, the fine, you're probably looking at a custodial sentence and you would require to pay compensation. But unforgivable is an interesting use of the word. Probably why they've highlighted it and put it in exclamation marks. The court heard Rooney was almost 3 times the legal limit. So the legal society have obligations to their legal members as to what the limit is for them to safely be behind, probably a motor vehicle. We'll find out later. So they breathalyzed him, fine. In a statement issued after the hearing, he says, "I want to publicly apologise for my unforgivable lack of judgment." It's a lack of judgment, I'll give you that, in driving. Driving is an interesting word. If you knew what he was saying, he might have a better comprehension of what that word actually means. While over the legal limit. So this is Wayne Rooney. He's saying that he was over the legal limit. Okay, but... yeah, okay, legal limit. It was completely wrong. No, it wasn't wrong. You broke a code. You broke a statute, if you like. You broke a rule of a legal society. I would not say that was wrong. It might be like a... it's pretty serious. You ask a judge, if he asked a judge in court, "Judge, did I do anything wrong?" The judge said, no, of course you didn't do anything. No one's saying you did anything wrong, Rooney. Calm down, you know. But what did I do then? We'll come to that in a minute when his solicitor speaks. "I have already said sorry to my family. I have said, well, that must have been difficult. My manager, and that's a bit more tricky, and the chairman, he must have been pissed, and everyone at Everton Football Club. Now I want to apologise to the fans and like staff, I presume he means by that. And then now I want to apologise to the fans and everyone else who has followed and supported me throughout my career. Of course, I accept the sentence in the court, and I hope to make amends through my community service." Good for you. Gaskell, here we go, prosecuting, said a police officer on patrol was on duty at wherever it was in 2 a.m, interesting time, when he noticed a tail light. Dude, tail light. You're going to stitch yourself up. If you do anything wrong, then they have... these are the reasons that they have to pull you over. They have to have a reason for it. So if you're giving them a reason like a broken tail light or something like that, then, you know, especially if you're drunk... she said the officer intended to follow the vehicle but pulled it over. But it pulled over with Rooney seen to be at the wheel with a female. This is a female, right? So a female what? A female is not, you know, there's about 50% of all the species on the planet, if they're not capable of asexual reproduction, 50% of all the species technically on the planet are female. So what was it? A female what? Spider? A female what? Canine? Bovine? A female. In the front passenger seat. Miss Gaskell, change to Miss Gaskell now, okay, said that a footballer provided positive roadside breath test following the reading was confirmed. Oh yeah, they get you to do another blood test or something like that. The court heard that Rooney currently has 3 points on his licence for driving licence for speeding offences the 24th of August 2016. Speeding, again. Speeding. Where are you going on holiday this year? Were you speeding? Were? Past tense? Speeding? Future tense? I wasn't speeding. I did not speed. Nor am I planning on speeding. It's a bit of an interesting play on words. Rooney's legal team asked the district judge, John Temple, I think he said something here that I like, to consider not imposing a community order because he was going to because of his ongoing charity work. Quite right. Stands for nothing here. The judge said, not convinced. I love it. That imposing a large fine would have the same effect. I think the judge has done this because, okay, I could have given you a 10 grand fine, Rooney, and that would have been like lovely. But I think the judge says no. I think if you do a bit more community work in our scheme of things, maybe as I don't know, there's a probate. Is it probate who take care of this stuff? You know, if you go out there and actually maybe see people or look at people or really understand what could have happened when you're a man and you're not being fully in charge of the potential risks of what you're doing. Now, to be fair on this matter, Rooney, if there's anyone who could afford to pay a bill for causing harm in a car, remember George Michael crashed into someone's house, I think, flipped his Land Rover off into someone's front garden. Now, George Michael's got the money to put all that right. Obviously, it's an inconvenience, but he has the resources and the money because of his success to put it right. Same with Wayne Rooney. Even if he had killed someone, he probably could have compensated them to the best of his ability to say, look, I really am sorry, I'm in your debt forever. Anything you need, anything I can do. Here's my phone number. In fact, I'm going to get a special phone just with your number in it, and you call me up anytime you need any kind of assistance in anything that I can offer. I will do. I will help you. Yeah. Obviously, not everyone has the paper resources to kind of compensate in such a way. But someone like Wayne Rooney can easily stand up and take it on the chin for his actions. This way, he's just pleaded guilty. and got a £170 fine and banned for 2 years or something like that. A serious matter. Rooney's lawyer, Mike Rainford, told the court Mike Rainford's probably the legal expert who knows all about the legal levels of drink driving, whereas Rooney probably doesn't know what 100 milligrams or something or other in your blood means. 2 weeks' wages, 300 grand in 2 weeks. Jesus Christ. Judge Temperley says this is a serious matter. You placed yourself and other road users, which is an interesting road users, at risk. Is a dog crossing a road user? At risk as a result of your poor judgment that night. I accept your remorse is genuine, that you're aware of the adverse effects of the events that night, not least on your family. Interesting. Rooney has also been told to pay 85, prosecution charge. And there we go. I think that's the end of it. Got to have the trivia at the end of a BBC article. But that's essentially it. Now I'm going to go and look at the Guardian's article, and we'll look at that together and see how that goes.